Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Art feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, December the 21st, the first day of winter and the shortest day of the year as far as daylight. Pretty soon we head into springtime. But we're going to talk about winter today. We have JOHN McNEELY with us, RN, MU Healthcare. Good to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
Nurse John, you wanted to talk a little bit about driving in inclement weather, right?
Indeed. So in the emergency department, obviously, we're always really concerned about folks that have accidents. And as the weather changes, there's always a chance for more accidents. And we'll talk a little bit about safety and some winter safety
and how
in
to be
general.
Prepared when you go out.
Indeed, how to be prepared.
What should you have in your car when you're going out driving in the winter?
So there's really three ways to think about preparedness, and that's that we want to plan. So we want to make a plan and kind of figure out what we have to do. We want to actually prepare. We want to gather those supplies. And then the last thing is prevent. So if you can even prevent an accident, obviously you'll never come see me in the emergency department.
Right.
Nobody likes to come see me at work. So some of the things that you want to have a flashlight.
Yeah.
Want to have some jumper cables because batteries just tend to die. They never die at an opportune time.
No.
Yeah. You want to have a first aid kit. And then because you got the chance to get stuck out on the road, you want to have a way to keep warm and keep fed.
So blanket?
Blankets are really a good thing. Blankets, layers of clothes. You want to have a really good pair of shoes. The last thing you want to do is get stuck out in the winter and have on some flip-flops. That's exactly right.
Right.
Always have some good sturdy shoes in there, and like I say, something that. Food that's non-perishable. You want to have stuff like granola bars, canned food if you can.
So you're telling me when you drive in the wintertime, you should have canned food in the car?
So I think certainly in Missouri. So here's what I keep. You
do this?
Yeah. So I keep just some canned fruit in there. I keep a couple protein bars, just high protein bars. And my wife makes fun of me, but I come from a military background. There's a chance there's a couple of meals ready to eat, the MREs.
Right, the rations.
Yeah, the rations, because you never know when you're going to get stuck.
Actually, it all boils down to using common sense.
It really does. That's exactly right.
When the weather is cold and there's snow and ice on the ground, if you don't have to go out, consider yourself fortunate, stay in. But if you do have to go out, use common sense and be prepared on the road.
That's exactly right. And when you're out driving, some of the, these are just common sense things. So overwhelmingly, the patients that we see that have injuries in the emergency department are those that weren't wearing their seatbelt. Always wear your seatbelt, okay. No matter where you're going. Distracted driving is really something.
No, nothing on the phone.
Yeah, that's right. Don't text, don't talk. There's been a lot of studies that shown that even just talking on the phone is, and even if you have a hands-free device, that really increases your risk for an accident.
Okay, John, we're out of time for today, but I do appreciate you coming by and sharing what I really would consider common sense tips.
I think so.
Okay. Nurse JOHN McNEELY from MU Healthcare, Emergency Services. Hopefully nobody's going to need your emergency services.
I hope nobody needs my services.
Thank you for coming by. Now we turn to Dr. C.B. Chastain, College of Veterinary Medicine. Good to have you here.
Hi, Paul.
We go from talking about people in the cars in cold weather to our animals also. Yeah. Now, what do we have to deal with?
Today is the first day of winter, but we've had like a 3-month-long September. We've had really nice fall.
Very nice.
But we're probably going to have to pay the price for it pretty soon. The weather's going to get really cold. With people, it's not a big problem because we can layer our clothes, and if it's raining, we can put something rainproof over ourselves, but animals aren't that lucky. And this warm weather may have inhibited some of them from developing a full hair coat, a fully dense hair coat. And also developing the ability to shift blood in their skins to keep warm. And so extra precautions may be needed this winter, especially if you have a house dog that goes outside periodically.
No, so what do you do if, let's say, your dog lives in the house, you've got the house nice and warm, and you go out for a walk every day. You go out on a day where it's right around 0 or close to 0. Mm-hmm. Is that dog going to be okay, or should you bundle it up a little bit?
Well, it depends a little bit on their health. You want to make sure that they're healthy, because if they have health problems, that may make them more susceptible to the cold. Mm-hmm. If they have a real heavy hair coat, they might be okay to go outside. But if they're short-haired, they definitely ought to wear a jacket, and particularly if it's wet, because if the way that the hair coat keeps them warm is to trap air in the hair coat, and if the hair coat gets wet, then the moisture will conduct the cold right to their body. Mm-hmm. And so you want something that's waterproof on the outside. If they've got a short hair coat, it ought to be an insulated waterproof jacket. Yeah. If they're short-legged, or if they're just a small dog, it ought to cover the bottom of their chest and their abdomen too, because they'll get more of their body wet because of their shortness.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention, when we have snow and ice, if you're walking on the sidewalk or walking along the side of the road and they put salt down.
Right.
You got to watch out for your pets on the salt, too.
Definitely, yes. Well, when they come in, whether you think that they've gotten into salt or not, you should wash their paws, you should wash their legs, and if they're short, wash their abdomen, wash their belly. Yeah. And you may just have to wipe it if it's only moisture, but if they might have gotten into any chemicals, then you ought to use wipe them off with a wet cloth and then dry them.
Yeah, what we do is my dog Sparky, if he goes out, we're walking, if he happens to get in any of it, he comes in and he gets in the bathtub and gets all of his paws cleaned off.
Another thing you have to worry about with long-haired dogs is that if they're in snow, they'll get ice balls between their toes, so it's a good idea to trim the hair between their toes.
Okay. So again, if you have an indoor dog or cat that occasionally goes outside, you must be exercise, just like we were talking with John, common sense there.
Right.
Because even though they're a dog or a cat, they still are living creatures that are susceptible to the cold, harsh weather that we can have here.
Right, and if they're indoors, they might not have had the time to adapt to it, and they need to stay dry.
Dr. C.B. Chastain, thank you so much for coming by. College of Veterinary Medicine.
Thanks,
even though you have retired, you're still very busy.
Only partially retired.
Right. We're glad that you're with us today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about suicide prevention. Our program directed by Travis McMillen of the Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director today is Maya Jackson, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. And if there's something that you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Just drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. See you tomorrow.